What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here, Bouyy in the building. You already know what it is. And I'm back with a tertiary video wherein I talk about Sub-Zero and Cyrax. And what I want to do is I want to compare these two more in depth, because in between working these 2.5 jobs and dealing with multiple hurricanes like Hurricane Milton, which is currently barreling towards my my state right now as we speak at a paltry 9 miles per hour. I've been playing Cyrax. I've been playing both Sub-Zero and Cyrax, and I find that Cyrax is a marvelous character. She's fucking awesome, dude. Like, she's really, really good and fun to play. And the way she's designed is a model for how I think Sub-Zero needs to be designed. You know, not because I want Sub-Zero to be set playing people to death, but I'm talking about, you know, how all her tools just harmoniously coexist with each other. You know, so many of you have played against Cyraxes online and you've been grabbed into bomb, or you've been hit into bomb. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you've probably been quite frustrated, I imagine. And that makes sense because she is a frustrating character. But she's frustrating because she's cohesive. And I want Sub-Zero to have that same kind of cohesion. And yet again, as you may imagine, this is another video in which I request that Sub-Zero get buffed. You're damn right. Yes, yes. Not because Sub-Zero is a bad character, because he's not. He has good tools. This is a good tool. 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 He has good tools. The character does not suck as a character. He's not some hapless little underling that can't get things done like stormtroopers in Star Wars movies. He's not one of those, okay? He's capable, particularly when you arm him with Chameleon or Sonya or Serena, right? But here's the problem. The problem is he is not cohesive like Cyrax is. He and Cyrax share similar tools, except hers are just better than his in all ways. And we need that to be changed. So, what does Sub-Zero need? For one, a faster ice ball. This ice ball's too slow. It's too damn slow. His ice ball should be 25 frames. Why? Because Cyrax's ice ball is 23 frames. And because it's 23 frames, she can do any string she wants into her ice ball. So all her strings just combo into it. Even many of her normals, just random ass normals, they can combo into her ice ball because of how fast it is. And this helps her a lot. And she needs this for what she wants to do as a character. Sub-Zero needs it too, but he doesn't have it. Because off of his best buttons, like 2-1, forward 1-2, and 1-2, he can't combo into ice ball at all. He needs either meter or cameo to get any kind of combo from these strings. And that's ridiculous. No character in the game should have to be forced to use a cameo or forced to use meter to get a combo off of their buttons. It just shouldn't happen. And it doesn't matter who the character is, doesn't matter how strong they are, it just shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. That's part of the problem, okay? And this video is really about the disparity between Sub-Zero and Cyrax, as well as other characters, because In the same game where that move exists, I should say, this move should not exist in its current state. 39 frames is abysmal. And then it has 85 frames of hit advantage, whereas this is 23 frames of startup, and it has 180 frames of hit advantage. So this is almost, I mean, 85 times 2 is 170. She has double the hit advantage on her ice ball, and it's faster. Make that make sense for me. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the messed up part is he's the grandmaster of the clan that she comes from. He's supposed to be more powerful than her. Of course, the story kind of debunked all of that. But anyway, point is, this ice ball needs to be reworked. It needs to be much faster. 25 frame startup. Why? Because in previous Mortal Kombat games like MK9, MKX, and MK11, that ice ball was somewhere between 25 and 30 frames. I want that same ice ball to exist here. Also, the hit advantage needs to be buffed because 85 frames is stupid when hers is 180. If you hit somebody with this ice ball, notice she defrosted before I could hit. Like, you have to be a Jedi. You gotta walk up, because if you jump, you're not gonna get to him. And you can dash up, sure, but you should just be able to walk up and get your launcher after the ice ball connects. And you can't, because you'll risk your life and possibly get blocked, which is ridiculous. That shouldn't happen. So ice ball needs to be buffed. Now, MK Tom Brady brought up a good point. He mentioned that NRS tried to buff the deadly vapors. And so if ice ball is buffed to be comboable, what happens to deadly vapors? Well, there's several things that can happen with deadly vapors. They could just leave it as is, because EX deadly vapors allows us to use ice clone in a combo. You see what I'm saying? Ice ball would not. So if you just so happen to freeze somebody with ice ball, there is no combo to be had with ice clone. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm guessing, well, not guessing, what I'm thinking is, if Sub-Zero gets a hit confirmed into ice ball, he'll just use it to set up clone. And I think that's perfectly fine. He would use his ice ball combos to get a clone set up in the corner. I think that's perfect. That's perfect. Because I want Sub-Zero to have a cohesive game plan the way that Cyrax does. See, Cyrax wants to set up a bomb and either grab you into it. Oh, I messed that up. She wants to either grab you into bomb, or she wants to hit you with the bomb. Whoa, my bad. She wants to do one of those two things. And the cameos that she picks allow her to do that a little bit more easier. Or they give her particular setups after she does it. Or they give her the increased neutral that she actually needs in order to do this thing. You know what I'm saying? But with Sub-Zero, his tools are all over the place. Because on one hand, he has great space control tools like these, right? So you might think he's sort of like a keep away character. But then he also has a dive kick, which is not a keep away tool. He also has an overhead and a low, none of which are keep away tools. So, and that's fine, I guess. It's sort of like how Reiko has a command grab, but also the best projectile in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But if Sub-Zero is able to convert off of Ice Ball and put people in the corner and set up clone, that would help him out tremendously, because then he would be a corner specialist. You see what I'm saying? if that's what they're trying to go for with this character. That's, to me, that seems to be the best way to play him. And unlike a character like Havoc, who like needed extra moves added to him to make him viable, Sub-Zero doesn't need new moves. He just needs his current ones to be good and reworked, you know? So as to this move right here, Deadly Vapors, it could be kept the way it is, but it could also be turned into like a projectile that, you know, tracks and knocks people down. You know what I'm saying? Make it do like 6% damage, and it tracks and it knocks people down. And maybe the EX version pops up high enough for a combo so that Sub-Zero could pop somebody up and then do clone things. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that can be done with that move. Like, it doesn't have to stay in its default state if NRS was trying to get it to be what I'm asking Ice Ball for it to be. You know what I'm saying? Or what I'm asking Ice Ball to be. I'm sorry. But the point is, we can get a better Ice Ball. And it doesn't mean that this move has to be sacrificed. It can still do good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I do think Sub-Zero desperately needs to be able to hit confirm into Ice Ball for combos. This would give him the combo independence that Cyrax has. Right? Now, detractors will sit there and say, the Sub-Zero can get 35% meterless. Yes, that's technically true. But you know how he gets that 35%? Off of a 24 frame overhead that's death on block. A 24 frame overhead that good players seldom get hit with. So sure, yeah, he can get 35% meterless, but he has to do it off of a move that's 24 frames. Cyrax, by contrast, can match that damage or even exceed it from moves that are not 24 frames. Her mid is half that speed, or double that speed, I should say. I keep dropping this because I'm using a different controller than what I typically have used for Cyrax. Bruh. You can even hear the difference in the buttons. I'm using my fight pad. Bruh, I dropped. But I dropped that combo and I already exceeded Sub's damage. You know what I'm saying? And then with particular cameos, she can exceed Sub-Zero's damage as well. What the hell? Oh! I know exactly what the hell's going on. My release check is on. You gotta turn that shit off, you guys. Please turn release check off. I'm like, why am I getting these crazy drops? Like, I do this combo every day. See that? Yeah. So look, she got 379 off of a 12 frame mid. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just about the damage that a character can get, it's that initial button that they have to use to get it. This you cannot rely on as a Sub-Zero player. And so having this as the only way for Sub to get meterless, cameo-less damage is a terrible thing for him. He needs that opportunity from this. Or this. Especially this, actually. And this. That's what he needs as a character. He needs that. Any buffs that he should get in the future should be aimed towards that. Speaking of buffs, what is the second buff that Sub-Zero needs? Well, he needs gapless strings. 1-2-2 should have no gap in it. Why is that? Because Cyrax's 1-1-2 does the same thing, and it has no gap. There's no gap anywhere in that string. High, mid, overhead. These two literally have the same string that performs the same function. His happens to be safe on block, hers is not, but that's neither here nor there. It's the same string. And this is really important for Sub-Zero because I would love to be able to do that as a combo. You see what I'm saying? So I would get a freeze, do the overhead, do this, pop somebody, splat them for a combo. And then be able to put up a clone right after. He would need something like that. But because this string is so slow, or the hits of the string are so slow that they have gaps in them, he can't use it. There's no reason for this overhead to be 21 frames. It needs to be cut down dramatically to like 15. And I don't care if you don't keep it as an overhead. You can turn it into a mid. I don't give a damn. Just make it faster and gapless. And since it's a splat, why the hell is this move like -7 on block? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the reason for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. Try to. Okay. Like this move, it's -6 on block. It does nothing. Why is it -6? It should be like 0 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the point? So this does not need a gap in it. 2-1 absolutely should not have a gap in it. This is his footsie button. It's probably his greatest string in my estimation. Even better than his mid. Like, this string is so good because it intercepts people and it has the extended hitbox due to that ice thing. You can hit people from right here and it's 10 frames. So it functions like Scorpion's 2-1 or Shao Kahn's 2-2. It's not as good as both of those, but it's damn close. But off of most cameos, he can't even convert off of this because of the ice ball. And then on top of that, someone can cameo in between every hit of that string. That's ridiculous. So this entire string needs to be gapless. And honestly, if y'all want to turn this last hit into some kind of pop-up, I'm cool with that. I'm more than cool with that. Because he could use something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So gap-free strings is the second buff that Sub-Zero needs. And then the last buff. You may have guessed it. Ice Clone. So why does Sub-Zero's Ice Clone, why is it so problematic? It's a good move. It's a great move. But the disparity between this Ice Clone and Cyrax's bomb is ridiculous. Let's just compare the numbers on screen. So his clone starts up in 9 frames. Okay, cool. Hers starts up in 21. So hers is almost 3 times as slow. All right, cool. Fine, that's cool. He can also do his in the air, so that's great. That's a great advantage. But his clone affects the area where he was, right in front of him. Her bomb affects the whole screen. You see that? So she can throw her bomb anywhere she wants to, and no matter what, it has the same frame data pretty much. Whereas with him, he can only do it in front of him. Now, he does have 3 of them, but the triple clone is even riskier than the regular one is. So you may as well just use the regular one. But in a comparison of the numbers, I want you to notice that her bomb is active for 117 frames. So you have to worry about it for damn near 2 seconds. Whereas with his, you only have to worry about it for 1.16 seconds. Yes, I did the calculations. It's, 60 and 10. So 60 60ths and then 10 60ths is 1.16. All right. So anyway, so Sub-Zero, the clone is not out for long enough for people to really be worried about it. And these active frames being out for a short amount of time is exasperated by the super high recovery. Notice his clone recovers in 43 frames. That's a massive problem for him. Notice that Cyrax's bomb recovers in 26 frames. So she can just do these. And you're not going to see her putting this out and react to her. You have to read that she's going to throw the bomb and then react. Whereas with him, there are characters that can see this clone and then decide how they want to punish him. Whether that's Quan Chi, Scorpion, Tanya, Katana, Melina, probably Shang Tsung. I imagine Shang Tsung can just do an up skull, you know what I'm saying, and pop him from behind the clone. Like, there's so many characters that could see him do the clone and be like, fuck your clone, on reaction. Because of these high recovery frames. You see what I'm saying? So his clone's recovery needs to be shaved down to 25 frames. Why? Because Cyrax's is 26. In the same game where Cyrax exists, the way that she is, it don't make no sense for Sub-Zero to be the way he is. It doesn't make any sense for Sub-Zero to be as restricted and as limited and as handicapped as he is while Cyrax exists. And other characters. I mean, having Sub in the same game as Noob Saibot doesn't make sense. Because Noob does not have the restrictions that Sub-Zero has. Noob has better versions of many moves than Sub-Zero does. Because Noob's dive kick is way better than this. You're not reacting to Noob's dive kick. You're not going to poke him out of the air. You're not going to uppercut him. You know what I'm saying? You're lucky to even up block it on reaction because it's so fast. Whereas with Sub's dive kick is good, but it's so slow that people see it and they're like, oh, dive kick time. And so that's the other problem. So Sub just has worse versions of things that other characters have. And that would be fine and good if he worked at a fundamental level. And in order for him to do that, this clone can't be minus 43 on recovery. It must be 25 frames or somewhere thereabouts. Hell, if you want to make it even faster than that, I'm more than welcome to it. But he needs to be able to put up this clone without worrying about characters seeing it and killing him for doing it. All right. And honestly, 70 frames of active time it's not a whole lot. It kind of sucks, to be honest with you. So I would happily take Tom Brady's suggestion of making the regular clone last as long as this one does. I'm more than happy with that. I think that's fair. Why? Because Cyrax is in the game. Her bomb lasts for 117 frames. That's comparable to 140 frames of this. It's comparable. It's more, but it's comparable. It's in the same ballpark. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, why am I making this video? Because the disparity between Sub-Zero and Cyrax makes no sense. The disparity between Sub-Zero and the rest of the cast makes no sense. You have these characters that can play the game anywhere on the screen. And not every character can play the game at full screen like Johnny Cage or whatever. But, you know, Johnny Cage can't do anything from back here. But Sub-Zero has full screen options that should be viable, like this. This should make people scared to throw anything, but it's not. People can throw projectiles at Sub-Zero willy-nilly because they're not worried about this. Because it's that bad. This is nothing to worry about either. This is a nice little way to chip people out. You know what I'm saying? But if you're telling me that all his zoning tools are this and this, Sub-Zero's not a strong zoner. Now this move's good. This move is carrying all the weight for Sub-Zero's full, you know, far away screen game. But this don't go full screen. It goes half screen. And the actual extended hitbox extends to about 3/4 of the screen. Actually, that's not even true. It's more like 2/3. So he can control 2/3 of the screen with this. And that's good. But full screen, he has nothing. He has nothing. He has 2 moves that go full screen, and neither one of them are worth a damn. And that's a problem. That disparity is dumb. That's dumb. So that's what I would want for Sub-Zero, to be brought up to everyone else's level. His tools to be brought up to everyone else's level, particularly the level of Cyrax. I want him to be able to do string into ice ball, so that he can play independently of cameos and meter. That way the cameo can be his +1 the same way that Cyrax's cameo is her +1. Because Cyrax is such a complete character that has her own game plan, you could pair her with about 6 different cameos. And probably more. You know what I'm saying? And Sub-Zero could only really be paired with Chameleon at the highest level. That's it. That's all he's got. So if you're not using Sub-Chameleon, you're just asking to lose. And in a game where you're supposed to be mixing and matching teams together, that shouldn't happen. Okay? And so that's what we need for Sub-Zero. Right now, he is at the very bottom of anyone's tier list that's worth a damn in this community. Every top player is going to have Sub-Zero at the bottom of their tier list, at least bottom 5, if not bottom 3, or even very worst in the game. And that's for a reason. Because all the characters that used to share that bottom tier with him, they got buffed to fuck. Particularly Havoc, Scorpion, and Natara. Okay? And Quan Chi. Quan Chi still needs a little bit of help, but Quan Chi's in a better spot than Sub-Zero is. Okay? Because Quan Chi's things are at least cohesive. You know? And that's what we need for Sub-Zero. He needs his tools to be cohesive and usable where they should be. That's all I'm asking for. He ain't got to be top tier. He ain't got to be meta. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for him to be independent like Cyrax. And I keep reiterating this because I'm going to have numbskulls that are sitting here claiming that I'm crying about Cyrax or crying about Sub-Zero. I don't have the time to explain things to people with poor reading comprehension, okay? All I'm here to do is advocate for Sub-Zero. And so if you agree with me, please don't forget to hit that like. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe if you're new. Also, let me know how you feel in them comments. And as always, I appreciate you guys for watching my channel and checking out my videos. As soon as we get over this hurricane, you'll know more about what content there is for your boy in the future. But until then, I'm out of here. 1.